namely Niklas Beste and Maximilian Philipp. Not in the squad are the likes of Johan Manzambi, Yuito Suzuki and Jordi Makengo. Of course, Freiburg also dealing with a couple of injuries in the centre of the park. Max Rosenfelder, who's usually the left centre-back, out injured. So too the number 6, Patrick Osterhage. The referee for today's encounter is Dr. Robin Braun. His assistant referees are Florian Heft and Asmir Osmanagic. The fourth official is Felix Bickel, and the video assistant referee for today's game is Søren Storks. He will be assisted by Guido Klever in the Kölner Keller. A few moments away now from kickoff as both sides have come out onto the pitch at the Signal Iduna Park, 81,365 capacity stadium, one of the biggest in the world and one of the most iconic in the world. Dortmund in their traditional black and yellow home shirts, black shorts, black socks. Freiburg today in their also home number with a full red outfit for them today. Red shirt, red shorts, red socks. Both teams have broken the huddle. It looks like Freiburg that are going to take the opening kickoff. They'll be kicking from left to right from our position in the commentary position, attacking towards where their away fans are in the first half. Dortmund will be attacking towards the Südtribüne, kicking from right to left. It will be BVB actually to get us going here, just waiting for the whistle from Dr. Robin Braun. A nice close-up of the Derby Star football. The referee has blown his whistle and we are underway with a kick back. Never mind, false start. One of the Dortmund players sprinted a bit too early, so rejig the clock, bring it back down to 0. And then with Robin Braun having a look on his near side, blows the whistle again, and we are officially underway with a long ball pumped forward by Korbel towards his near side touchline. It bounces over a couple heads and it's going to be left out for a throw-in on this near side for Freiburg. Maximilian Bayer starting as a left wing back, quite an unusual position for him. He was playing off of Fabio Silva away in Hoffenheim last weekend. Ball is bouncing around in the centre of the park before being looped up, and a couple of headers from Freiburg sees the ball land at the feet of the Dortmund captain Nico Schlotterbeck. He sends it long towards the far side. A chase on for Brandt. It's hooked clear over on the far side by Günther. Picked up now here by Rierson in an advanced position, driving forward with the ball. He went down, still out there on the far side touchline with Brandt. He knocks it back towards Anton and sends it all the way back to Nico Schlotterbeck inside the centre circle. Dortmund with every single outfielder deep in the Freiburg half at the moment. Out it goes to Anton and onto the far side touchline. Brandt has taken over. Rierson's pushed up a little bit further. Back it goes again to Schlotterbeck in that central centre-back position towards the near side. Benzabaini played a loose ball, but Bellingham's there to pick up the pieces. Back it goes to Schlotterbeck, who goes for a crossfield ball out towards the far side. Rierson has taken it down there on the far side. Crosses one in towards Girassi in the middle. It's hooked clear towards the edge of the penalty area, picked up by Bellingham. And Benzabaini plays it across now to Anton. Out it goes towards the far side. Anton again will first time cross it in towards the back post. Bayer was coming in and it's taken a couple of ricochets on its way through, and Robin Braun has decided it's a goal kick at the end of the day. Dortmund players protesting the decision made by the referee, and on a replay it's very close to see who actually got the final touch. The ball sort of wedged in between Bayer and Lienhardt back there, but the final decision is goal kick. There's a little bit of a mist here at the Signal Iduna Park. I think the Freiburg fans had a couple of flares go off in the away end as the kick is sent long, glanced on by Matanovic, but it will go through to Korbel again for Dortmund, who chip it out towards the far side. It's just about kept in play by Rierson and nodded out of play by Philipp Lienhardt, coming across to nod it out of play. Throw is taken by Rierson back towards his own goal. Anton plays it to Korbel, who will clear it first time out towards that far side again on the halfway line. It's taken down by Brandt, up in the air off of Brandt's toe. Zabitzer tries to keep it in play. Rierson does well to do that. And he feeds it into Guirassy, who knocks it back, and Brandt with a nice touch. Lifts it over a couple players, trying to get away from too many though. And Freiburg thought for a second they could have broken away there. Lukas Höhler tried to lead the breakaway, but now here is Inacio, who plays it out to this near side for Maxi Bayer, driving towards the penalty area now. Bayer still with ball at feet, takes it away from one, but it's good defensive work by Scherhand. Coming back to do his defensive duties, clears his lines. Back it goes now to Bellingham. Plays the ball to the feet of Guirassy, round the corner from Brandt, and over the top for Guirassy, but it's a good header away by Bruno Ogbus. Dortmund still retain possession though, deep in the Freiburg half. Chipped forward by Bensebaini, looking for the run of Bayer, but it's overhit. And into the hands of Noah Atubolu, who's back in the side after being benched for the DFB Pokal game, with backup goalkeeper Florian Müller standing in between the sticks. That was a decision that Julian Schuster defended in his post-match press conference, with many criticising him for not starting their number one in a game of that importance. But he's back in the side now as he hooks this ball clear towards the halfway line. Up in the air from Anton and nodded backwards by Julian Brandt towards his own goal. Ryerson picks it up and it brings it out to Nico Schlotterbeck, the Dortmund skipper, former Freiburg man. Of course, Nico Schlotterbeck joined Dortmund from the Breisgau Brasiliana, but it is the away side that come forward with it. Höhler tried to slide it in there, but Bayer read it pretty comfortably and sends it out forward to Guirassy. And if he can time the ball out wide, he's found Ryerson. On it goes to Brandt, out there on the far side touchline. Driving up against Günther. Brandt waits for the overlap. Ryerson provides it, crossing towards the back post, and it's nodded away at the back stick by Ogbus. The ball is trickling towards the corner flag, and it will eventually guard a play for a throw-in right near the near side corner flag. A vital touch there from the youngster Bruno Ogbus, the 20-year-old Swiss centre-half, starting in back-to-back games now in the Bundesliga. Looks like Maxi Bayer is going to try and take a long throw in here. He's got the sun right in his eyes. He is going to float this one in towards the 6-yard box, flicked on at the near post before being hooked clear by Vincenzo Grifo for Freiburg. But again, Dortmund regain possession, still in the Freiburg half. Bellingham comes towards the near side to pick it up on the halfway line. On it goes to Brandt. Plays it back infield towards Inacio. And Schlotterbeck plays it out towards the far side now here with Ryerson. Takes it over the halfway line, plays it to Brandt on the touchline. Back it goes to Sabitzer. And Dortmund just happy to keep hold of the ball. Freiburg also more than happy to let them have it. Schlotterbeck with another long ball out towards the far side. It's a chase on for Ryerson, but it's way too much for the Norwegian to get on the end of. And that will trickle out of play for a goal kick. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, a victory for Borussia Dortmund will see them confirm their place in next season's UEFA Champions League. They are still 2 points ahead of RB Leipzig, but they are hot on their tails, are the Roten Bullen, after they won on Friday night at home to Union Berlin. So Dortmund will need to be on their A game to keep that distance to 5 points. Long ball pumped forward by Atubolu. Down went Bensebaini. It's going to be a free kick for Dortmund. Not sure what happened there. I think Scherhand caught Bensebaini in the face. That's why he went down. Free kick is taken quickly out towards the far side with Ryerson. Back in field it comes to Waldemar Anton. And he plays it towards this near side for Schlotterbeck. Bellingham coming deep to pick up the ball. Here's Bensebaini tipping it down the line, looking for the run of Maxi Bayer. He's got him behind the defence, inside the penalty area. Maxi Bayer opens his body up for the shot, and he tucks it away brilliantly. Superb finish from Maximilian Bayer, and Dortmund take the lead inside 8 minutes. The ball forward from Bensebaini was inch perfect, and Maxi Bayer timed his run to perfection, opened his body up, Thierry Henry style, and he slots it into the far corner. Brilliant finish from Maxi Bayer, and it's just the start that Dortmund needed. Dortmund 1, Freiburg 0. There's a question of offside, whether or not Bruno Okbus did end up playing him on. The flag stayed down throughout the entirety of that attack. But the control from Maxi Bayer to bring that down was superb. Pointed it into the path for him to open his body up, and he tucks it away past the sprawling Atubolu. And indeed, Maxi Bayer backs his 9th goal of the season. And it does count. No need for VAR to intervene there. It is Dortmund 1, Freiburg 0. As a long ball is pumped forward, flicked on by Matanovic, but it'll go into the hands of Gregor Kobel, and he overarms it quickly out towards this near side for Maxi Bayer. Turns it infield towards Bellingham, and back it goes to the assist provider Benzabaini. He plays it forward. Inacio under a bit of pressure, had to stab it away, but he loses out. Scherhand into the path of Höhler now for Freiburg. The loose ball there. Höfler will slide in and pick up the pieces. Back he goes to Eggestein on the edge of the penalty area. He went down, but the referee saw nothing wrong with it. And Dortmund are looking to counter now here with Inacio driving forward. Girassi is up there with him. The youngster still has the ball. He gets nudged in the back, and the referee is given a free kick for Borussia Dortmund. Lukas Höhler, the striker, coming back to do the defensive work there. It was a proper striker's tackle, that one, from Lukas Höhler. Just a shot right into the back of as ever appearance in the professional side. The free kick is taken short here, and Riasson has taken over from Zabitzer. He's whipped on in towards the corridor of uncertainty, and is punched clear by Atubolu. Picked up here by Bellingham, about halfway inside the Freiburg half. Turns it away towards his near side. Zabitzer sends it down the line for Bayer. Poked back again towards Zabitzer. Across the line to Schlotterbeck, back out to this near side. Riasson has it once more, shifts onto his right foot, plays it back to Zabitzer. He goes for the crossfield ball out towards the far side where Svensson has it. Or made that Brandt who took over possession there. Here is Schlotterbeck once more, sliding one through towards Bayer. Girassi didn't quite get on his bike there, and it allowed Lukas Höhler to get back and deal with the danger. Girassi went in a little bit late there, and he's given away the free kick on the near side touchline. It was Maximilian Eggestein rather who won the foul there. Number 8 to number 9 look a little similar from where I'm sat here. And Robin Brown just wanted Freiburg to take that one a little bit further away from the original position. Maybe he took them a bit too quickly. But it is now all okay. We're back underway as the ball goes back to the feet of Atubolu inside his 6-yard box. Plays it across to Lienhardt. And out towards the far side touchline. Down the line from Günther towards Grifo. He's going to struggle to keep that in play, and he has failed to do so. It is a throw-in just inside Freiburg's half for Die Schwarz-Gelben. And it is Riasson who's going to take a long throw into the path of Brandt here. Over towards Girassi on the far side of the penalty area. He wanted to take aim, and that's charged down. He'll ricochet out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. I'm not sure if Girassi meant to shoot there, but the venom with the strike suggested so. Throw-in goes back towards the halfway line here, and Schlotterbeck, a little bit hurriedly, gets that out to Benzabaini. He plays it to this near side for the goal scorer Bayer, looking to come infield away from Scherhand, but he's lost out there. A combination of Eggestein and Scherhand win the ball back, and Höhler plays it back towards Atubolu in his own goal. And Freiburg will look to build up from the back. Bruno Okbus plays the ball forward. It's a good sliding challenge from Bayer, but it's gone straight to a Freiburg player. Punted forward by Höhler. Taken down by Matanovic. Poked on towards Eggestein, and Matanovic into Höhler. And towards this near side now with Kübler, who plays it down the line, looking for the run of Scherhand. It's well seen out there by Schlotterbeck. And he can only put it out of play for a throw-in on this near side. Freiburg fans in full voice, basking in the late afternoon / early evening sunshine in the Ruhrpott. They've had a long journey to make out to Dortmund today. It's going to be a long throw-in to be taken by Philipp Lienhardt, the centre-back, from this near side in towards the 6-yard box. It's bouncing around inside the penalty area. comes back out to Lienhardt on the near side. Gets it back from Ogbus, and again Lienhardt will look to cross it in, but that ball is blocked. And now Dortmund can lead the counter-attack. Driving forward with it is Inacio. It's a 3-on-2 scenario here for Dortmund. Inacio waiting for the run to be made. Shifts onto his right foot instead. Out towards the far side now with Brandt. He waits for a run. He chips one in towards Guirassy, and he stabs it home. Borussia Dortmund wasting no time whatsoever to confirm their Champions League place. And Serhou Guirassy stabs home a second for Borussia Dortmund in the 14th minute. Dortmund 2, Freiburg 0. Excellent patience from Julian Brandt to wait for the right time to chip the ball into the centre, and Guirassy was virtually unmarked as he swept the ball home. And there's nothing the retreating Freiburg defenders could do about it. Good work from Inacio to shift the ball out towards the far side. As I said, excellent patience from Brandt just to lift it in to Guirassy, who was running off the back of Bruno Ogbus. He had no idea where the number 9 was. And Kubler was playing him on, so there's no question about offside. The outside of his foot. Serhou Guirassy pokes it beyond Atubolu. No chance for the German goalkeeper. And as I said, Dortmund are wasting no time in trying to confirm this spot in the Champions League. 14 minutes gone. It's Dortmund 2, Freiburg 0. Long ball pumped forward again into the penalty area now with Scherhand, who gets a shot away. But it flies over the bar. That caught me off guard a little bit because the long ball was pumped forward and then the glance on bounced around in the penalty area. Schlotterbeck initially missed it, actually. And there was a chance there for Scherhand, who was leaning backwards as he hit it. But it flew well over the bar. But it is 2-0 to Borussia Dortmund, and the ownership group, I shouldn't say ownership group, but like the front office, I guess, of Dortmund with the CEO Lars Ricken are all very happy with what's transpiring out there on the pitch. That's Guirassy's 15th goal of the season in the Bundesliga. And he is enjoying life playing for Dortmund. Throwing over on the far side for Dortmund. Brandt plays it infield, and Guirassy will have another chance of this. Inside the penalty area, pulls it back to Bellingham. Brings it towards the near side. Benzebaini will take aim. His shot is charged down by Kubler. And Scherhand lost possession there. Picked up by Benzebaini. Brought it back to Schlotterbeck. Into the path of Sabitzer. And now on this near side, Inacio. Looking to drive past the man towards the byline. Gets the ball across. It's a superb ball. And incoming was Riasson on his weaker left foot. Strikes it over the bar. But what a chance that was for 3-0. Great work from Inacio to get beyond Scherhand. And the ball across was brilliant. There was no one in a Freiburg shirt going after the ball. And in came Riasson at the back post. And as I said, on his weaker left foot, he got underneath it and clipped it over the bar. But it's been a very good start from Borussia Dortmund in the opening 16 or so minutes. Goals in the 8th and 14th minute. Maxi Bayer and Serhou Guirassy giving Die Schwarz-Gelben a 2-goal lead, and they've restored that 5-point advantage over RB Leipzig. And as I've said already many times, this result stands. Dortmund will be playing Champions League football next season. Ball at the feet now of Atubolu. Being closed down by Inacio. That's a loose ball there from Atubolu. Picked up on the edge of the D by Brandt. Sliding it through to Inacio. Back it goes to Bellingham, who looks to curl one towards the top corner. But it's just a whisker away. Freiburg look a shell of themselves today. Atubolu played a really poor pass there out towards the edge of his penalty area. And eventually the curl effort came in from Bellingham, but it was just a little bit too high and over the top right corner. Freiburg do need to wake up. This is the stronger team on paper. There are maybe a few players that you would have expected to be in the squad, such as a Manzambi or even a Matthias Ginter. It is still a strong squad on paper, but this There's been a woeful performance in the opening 20 or so minutes from Julian Schuster's side. It is a free kick here for Freiburg, right on the halfway line, near side of it. About 15 or so yards away from the near side touchline. August plays it all the way back to Atabolu, who chips it over Girassi, over towards the far side of the pitch. Lienhardt will drive forward with it into a lot of green space. Brings it to this near side where Kübler will turn it round the corner. Flicked on by Höhler into the path of Matanovic, and Anton had to come across and slice that out of play for a throw-in. Freiburg were going to take it quickly with Matanovic, but he's left it here for Kübler to take it. Gets it back from Höfler. And Ogbus, under pressure from Inacio, has to go all the way back to the keeper once more. The youngsters look very lively already today, in what is his 4th appearance of the season for Borussia Dortmund. Over towards the far side again now, and back in field it comes to the feet of Atubolu. And now here's Lienhardt over on the far side. On the touchline is chipped forward down the line by Günther, looking for the run of Höhler, but Schlotterbeck will see through that. And back it goes to Gregor Kobel. Feeds it to Anton. Brandt coming back to be an option, brings it to Schlotterbeck, and he chips it forward, looking for Inacio. That's a poor ball though from Schlotterbeck, but he's done well to recover that one. And Bayer takes it away from a defender. Out it goes towards the far side again. Dortmund have got the numbers forward. Brandt driving with it. Out towards the touchline now with Rierson. Level with the 18-yard box. Pulls it back to Brandt again. Still out there on the far side touchline. In it comes now to Schlotterbeck. Brought over to this near side. Benzabaini plays it inside. Girassi flicking it on here for Inacio, who has a go, and it's charged down by Kübler, and it goes behind for another Dortmund corner. Girassi very unselfish there, with the outside of his foot lifting it over a defender to get it through to Inacio, and on his left foot the angle was tight for the shot, but he had to go regardless, and Kübler got his body in the way, and Inacio himself is going to come over and take this corner for Dortmund. Usually it's Rierson's job to deliver the in-swinging corners on this near side. In it goes from Inacio onto the 6-yard box, and Girassi got a glancing header on that one, but it flies wide of the far post. Nice ball there from Samuel Inacio, and Girassi, getting away from the grasps of Lienhardt, managed to fashion out a header from that opportunity, but he couldn't quite nod it towards the target, and Atabolu will do the honours in clearing the ball. From the goal kick towards the centre of the park, it goes beyond the head of Höhler, and Scherhand looking to get in behind there. Hooked clear by Bayer. Headed forward by Höfler. And still Freiburg look to have it under control, but then the flag goes up against Derry Scherhand. It's going to be offside, and on the replay, I think Schlotterbeck's trailing foot had kept Derry Scherhand actually onside there. So if anything happened to that move, maybe we'd be looking at a reversal with VAR. But as it is, flag went up, free kick given. It's punted forward by Kobel out towards Girassi, who uses his body well, pokes it out to the touchline. Here's Rierson. Has Brandt on the overlap, uses Julian Brandt. Back it goes now to Anton, and Girassi has found himself out wide for Dortmund. Infield it comes now to Bellingham, to the feet of Girassi, out to the far side again with Brandt. Comes towards this near side now for Benzabaini. Bayer has an option if he needs it. Benzabaini plays it into Bayer, who fitted it across goal. Goes towards the far side of the penalty area. Brandt gets it across, and it's hooked clear by Höfler. Matanovic, surrounded by 3 Dortmund shirts, just about gets away with it, and all of a sudden there's a one-on-one here for Höhler up against Anton. Bayer comes back to help out defensively, and he's done well initially, but I think Robin Braun has whistled a free kick in favour of Freiburg. A little nudge in the back there from Maxi Bayer on the veteran forward for Freiburg. It doesn't take a lot for a striker to go down these days. Just had a look at the challenge from Schlotterbeck, which fed the ball straight to Lienhardt, who sent Höhler on his way. And now Freiburg have this free kick in a promising position. Again, you're looking at the likes of Höhler and Lienhardt in the middle as an aerial threat. It's going to be a near side free kick, which will be taken by Grifo. He's going to take this one right-footed, right arm raised. It's chipped in and it's flicked on at the near post by Höfler, but it's always going wide from Nicolas Höfler. This is his 349th appearance for Freiburg all time. And he'll be looking to mark that occasion with a goal. Plays back underway now with Benzabaini driving down this near side. Plays it back to Bayer. Infield towards Bellingham now. Crossfield switch out towards the far side of the penalty area. Rierson took it down nicely. Whips one in towards Inacio. And it's flicked away by Scherhand at the back post. It will trickle behind for another Dortmund corner. Dangerous balls into the mixer from that right-hand side. Rierson this time with a lovely ball in. And first Kübler, then was Scherhand there to nod it behind for another Dortmund corner. And again, it's going to be Inacio to come over and take this. You're looking at the likes of Schlotterbeck, Anton, Girassi in the mixer once more. Packed out 6-yard box here for Inacio, but before he can take this corner, Robin Brown just wants to have a word with Kübler and Rierson. By the looks of it, they were both hugging it out on the goal line just in front of Atubolu. Just making sure everything's in order. Rierson and Kübler laughing it out, so everything seems to be fine, and we're ready to take this corner. Inacio will whip it in towards the near post. Really poor corner, headed away. Only as far as Inacio again, who whips one in again. A weak effort though there for Inacio, stabbed away at the first time of asking and hooked forward towards the halfway line. Bellingham done well to shield that away from Grifo. Brings it to the near side for Brandt. And it goes backwards now to Joe Bellingham. Onwards it goes out towards the far side for Brandt. And back into the centre circle now with Nico Schlotterbeck. Under pressure from Matanovic. Used his body really well there, Schlotterbeck. Drives on with it now. Plays the ball infield. Brandt over to Zabitzer. Touch and cross in towards the mixer. Inacio was there. It comes to the back post. A Girassi shot is charged down. Out to the edge of the area for Brandt. And Dortmund still have it alive. Deep in the Freiburg half. Schlotterbeck. Out to the far side with Rierson now. Back it goes towards Anton. And again at the feet now of Nico Schlotterbeck. Opens his body up and brings it towards the near side. In for Benzabaini. Girassi's come very deep to pick up the ball. Bellingham drives away from one. Plays it to Brandt. Gets it back now. Plays a square ball across to Schlotterbeck. Centre of the park. Drives it infield. Inacio turned it round the corner. Here's Bellingham again. Brandt goes back to Benzabaini. And on this near side it's Bayer. Shifts onto the right foot. Dortmund just trying to play around this Freiburg wall at the moment. Anton plays it back to the feet of Schlotterbeck. Near side again for Benzabaini. They go back into their own half. Schlotterbeck under pressure from Matanovic. The ball goes all the way back to Korbel, who stood halfway inside the Dortmund half. At the feet now Anton, out towards Zabitzer. On the far side touchline, Rierson has sent Brandt on a run. Out there, up against Höfler. Turns it around the corner. Rierson's carried on his run. Low ball in from Rierson, and it's cleared away by Ogbus. Girassi was asking the question of why it wasn't towards his direction. But the good clearance from Ogbus means it's going to be a throw-in out on the far side. Something fell from the stands, incidentally, and Zabas has just gone to do some clean-up duty there. Not quite sure what that was. But it is still a throw-in for Borussia Dortmund. Level with the 18-yard box on the far side. Taken by Rierson back towards Anton. Gets it to Bellingham, and now again at the feet of Waldemar Anton. Over on the far side of the pitch. On the touchline now with Rierson. Back in field again to Anton, and Schlotterbeck makes himself available back in his half. Plays it back out to Anton again, who fizzes one down the line, looking for the run of Inacio, and Ogbus slides in there, and he's done very well, Bruno Ogbus, and Inacio's taken him down whilst doing so, and it's going to be a free kick for Freiburg. Good work there from the Swiss defender, good sliding tackle, and then he puts his body in the way to draw the foul from Inacio. Another look at this opportunity from the Zabitzer cross to Girassi. It was a good block, I think, in the end from Lienhardt to prevent Girassi from doubling his tally today. Long ball pumped forward by Lienhardt. Matanovic taps it back, and out towards the far side. Grifo can stretch his legs here and drive at Anton. Still with him, Vincenzo Grifo, driving into the penalty area. Plays the ball into the mixer, and it just gets away from Scherhant. Korbel will dive onto that one. It was just an inch away from Derry Scherhant, and an inch maybe closer to the forward, and we could be looking at a very different game. But Korbel was out off his line very early to get that ball. Rolls it out to Benzabaini. Girassi went down, claiming a foul. Nothing was given. Dortmund will clear their lines again, but it's another poor clearance from Benzabaini. Ogbus gets it out to Höfler. Turned round the corner by Matanovic. Now back at the feet of Philipp Lienhardt. Near side again for Ogbus. And Höhler's come out to this near side touchline to drive infield. Höfler dispossessed high up the pitch there by Zabitzer, and he's got Girassi running ahead of him. Over on the far side with Julian Brandt. He plays it into Girassi, but it's behind the striker. And Freiburg clear their lines, only as far as Bayer though. Dortmund are unrelenting in their pressure. Bellingham over to Anton now. He goes for the crossfield ball towards his near side. Bayer heads it back down. Picked up by Benzabaini, near side of the penalty area. Bellingham, there's a lot of space for him to run into the penalty area. Bellingham still has it, pokes one towards goal, and it's gone behind for a corner. Half an hour gone, and Dortmund's pressure has been relentless in this opening phase of play. Zabitzer with a brilliant tackle on Nicolas Höfler to set up the counter-attack, and then eventually Bellingham drives with the ball in towards the penalty area, and it's a vital touch there from Christian Günther, I think, coming over from left back to make that block. And it is another corner on this near side. It will be Riasson to come over to take it now, the usual set piece taker. And before he takes it, he's being told to move the ball back onto the quadrant because the referee noticed it wasn't on the quadrant. Now it's been set, and again it's a packed out 6-yard area. 2 arms raised by Riasson. This is a better corner towards that back post, and it's headed home by Rami Benzabaini. Dortmund are running riots at home to Freiburg. And that Champions League place looks more than reserved now. 32 minutes on the clock. It's Dortmund 3, Freiburg 0. When you bring the usual set-piece taker onto the corner, it usually guarantees a result. Riasson with assist number 16 in the season. And it was an inch-perfect corner right onto the head of Rami Benzabaini at the back post, who thumps the header home into the back of the net. Atsubolu rooted to the spot. Great leap from Benzabaini. And Dortmund are running riot at home. That's a 6th goal of the season for Rami Benzabaini. Usually he scores from the penalty spot for Borussia Dortmund, but a rare header for the Algerian to go along with his assist today. It's been a superb start for Dortmund. Play back underway with Freiburg in possession, with Lienhardt, who's having to backpedal away from Inacio towards the near side with Ogbus now. Up against Brandt, he gets taken down, and that's going to be a free kick for the visitors. right under the nose of Niko Kovac. And he's barking at Julian Brandt, so to get in position there. Free kick is taken backwards towards Lienhardt. Down the line from Eggestein. It's nodded away by Bensebaini. Back deep in their own half now are Freiburg. Here's Ogbus. Again driving down the line against Brandt, and he gets taken down again by Julian Brandt. It's going to be another free kick on that near side touchline, and again the ball goes back towards Noah Atubolu. It really has been a poor performance in this opening half an hour from Freiburg. Dortmund have had 11 shots on Atubolu's goal already. Long ball pumped forward towards Martanovic, chested down by Anton for Dortmund, and he'll go all the way back to Kobel, who made himself available on the far side of his penalty area. That's a pretty poor clearance though from Kobel. He was looking for Maxi Bayer here with the crossfield switch towards the near side. It was well behind the goal scorer Bayer, and it's a pretty careless throw in here conceded by Gregor Kobel. And we've already discussed the long throw capabilities of Philipp Lienhardt, which is what's going to happen now. He's coming over to take this throw in, so it could almost be like a set piece this for Freiburg. Needlessly conceded by Gregor Kobel. In goes a long throw towards the 6-yard box. It's bouncing towards the near post, and it's a tremendous save by Kobel. Right down to his near post. He gets his left hand down. I think it was Höhler that got the glancing header at the near post. Cat-like reactions from Kobel to make the save. Goodness me. He did well to save himself there, but Freiburg are in with a chance here. Martanovic sliding it through to Scherhand inside the penalty area, stands one to the back post, but it goes straight into the midriff of Kobel again. And Dortmund, having looked so comfortable in the opening half an hour, I think the flag would have gone up anyway against Derry Scherhand because he was in offside position when he received the ball. But having looked really good inside the opening half an hour, they've maybe taken their foot off the gas ever so slightly. Freiburg having a few chances there. Kobel being tested a couple times now. Throwing on the far side though for the home side. Riasson will take it. 10 minutes to go to the half-time whistle. The half has absolutely flown by here in the sunshine in North Rhine-Westphalen. Long ball forward from Bensebaini into the path of Inacio, who is bundled off the ball there by Kubler, and he wants the throw-in to go his way, but the assistant on the near side has decided it will be a Dortmund throw-in. Let's have a look at it again here. It looks pretty inconclusive from that angle, but it is a Dortmund throw-in regardless. It's pumped long now towards Girassi, chests it down nicely on the near side touchline. And Bayer was dragged back there by Höhler. That's going to be another free kick for Dortmund. Just on the halfway line, right in front of the technical area of Niko Kovac. Bensebaini just waiting for some kind of option to come available to him. Brandt has made a long run to receive the ball. He plays it back to Schlotterbeck, and he plays a little bit of a wayward pass. Kobel has to scramble over to get there. On it goes to Anton now, and out towards the far side here with Sabitzer. Drives with the ball infield, and now Bellingham has it, crossing over the halfway line, but he's dispossessed there, and Höhler nicks it away from Schlotterbeck. And Grifo's running ahead of Lukas Höhler. Here is Grifo, out on the far side. Two Dortmund players there. Pulls it back towards Eggestein on the edge of the penalty area. He goes down on the edge looking for a foul. Robin Brown waves him up. And now Dortmund can counter here. Bayer can send the ball out wide to Riasson, who's racing away over on the far side. Girassi is in the centre. The ball is low. And it's a great retrieving tackle by Bruno Ogbus to stab that behind Girassi's leg. Down goes Höhler under a challenge from Bensebaini, and it is going to be a free kick for Freiburg. But how quickly Dortmund turned defence into attack there. Lovely ball from Maxi Bayer out wide to Riasson. The ball wasn't the best one from the Norwegian, and he knows he's capable of better than that. But it was a brilliant touch from Bruno Ogbus. He was already sliding and he had to sort of back heel the ball back towards, or back away from the penalty area. And he did that superbly. Another free kick here for Freiburg. I saw Grifo on the deck momentarily. No cards being issued by the referee, Robin Braun. Free kick is played towards this near side. Down goes another Freiburg player. It's going to be another free kick. This time it was Höfler who goes down, and he's having a word or two with Maximilian Bayer there. Not best pleased with what the 23-year-old had to say about the foul, and I think Maxi Bayer is within his right to complain there, because Höfler definitely bought that foul. He's got it back though from the short free kick, and here is Eggestein looking to send Grifo on his way on this near side. Bensebaini goes down claiming a foul, and it is going to be a foul. A lot of soft decisions here being given for both sides. Grifo and Bensebaini discussing it here. It was a really, really light shove on the Algerian, but enough to make him go down, and it's enough to award a free kick on this near side. Bensebaini will leave it for Gregor Kobel, who's going to do the deed and pump the ball long. Never mind, he plays it short towards Waldemar Anton. They play the ball across the far side of the pitch. A long ball down the line from Riasson, asking someone to chase it in black and yellow, but there's no one there. Back it goes to Atabolu, who chips it out towards the far side touchline again. Lienhardt plays it back to Atabolu, and his first time clearance isn't the cleanest one. And it's picked up by Zabitzer. Lifts it out towards the far side. Riasson back towards Anton, who's retreating towards his own goal at the moment. Now at the feet of Bensebaini inside the centre circle. Still in the Dortmund half now, though. Anton plays it to the feet of Bellingham inside the centre circle. Near side again with Bensebaini. And on the touchline, Inacio feeds it back towards the Algerian. 5 minutes to go at the end of this first half. Korbel will chip it forward out towards the far side of the pitch. Nodded clear by Lienhardt. Chested down by Grifo, who flicks it over the top here for Matanovic. Good tackle there from Bensebaini, and Bellingham turns away. Good sliding challenge there again, though, from Eggestein to win it back. And now here's Scherhant on this near side. Had Kubler running ahead of him. Here is Kubler. Down goes Scherhant off the ball. And the referee is going to award another free kick here for Freiburg. I think Samuel Inacio was the guilty party in this scenario. And he puts his body in the way of Scherhant. That's more of a foul than some of the ones that have been given by the referee today. As I say, 5 minutes to go to the half-time whistle. A chance here for Freiburg to get something on the board. Still 3-0. The Dortmund players have formed a line on the edge of the D. Grifo swings one in. It's a deeper one towards the back post, and it's gone beyond everyone. Eggestein looked to keep it away from being a goal kick, but it does go out of play on the far side byline. A really poor set piece from Vincenzo Grifo there. Goes behind for a goal kick. Just having a replay now of the Bensebaini header. A thumping header at the back post. Got away from his marker and nodded it home into the bottom right corner. And he's had a good day so far, Rami Bensebaini. Goal and an assist to his name from left centre-back. Not bad going for the Algerian defender. Korbel has it now. Plays it short to Zabitzer, who plays the ball out wide first time, but there's no one there. Picked up by Arecha and into the middle towards Matanovic, but it's too close to Korbel. He was running free there, the Croatian forward. The cross wasn't on the money, and Korbel's distributed it quickly here for Bensebaini. Brandt's come very deep to pick up the ball. Guirassi's made a run through the defence, but the ball goes out wide now here to Anton. Over towards the far side here with Riasson. On it goes to Zabitzer. He gets bundled down. Referee doesn't award a free kick. Still out on the far side touchline for Riasson. Coming back in field. Brandt plays it out wide. And now here is Schlotterbeck. Inside the centre circle of the Freiburg half with Bensebaini. Brings it towards this near side with Maximilian Bayer. Lifts it onto his right foot. Plays the ball in field again. backwards towards the centre circle. Bensebaini. Near side again with Brandt. Looking to get the 1-2 from Bayer. Didn't quite come off there for Maxi Bayer. And Eggestein has to use his body to play it back to Kübler, who chips it forward to Eggestein, but he's lost out there. But the referee is going to award a free kick here. Eggestein clutching his right foot, and the referee's having a talking to with Samuele Inacio. The young Italian. Maybe his foot was a little bit too high. He just stood right on the top of Eggestein's right foot. No harm, no foul, though, in terms of cards from Robin Braun. Keeping them in his pocket. It's going to be another free kick, though, for the visitors on this near side, which Atobolo will stride into and kick long towards Matanovic. He's got the flick on here for Scherhand, and if he can play it out wide, the space for Grifo. Here is Grifo. Günter's continue to run in towards the penalty area, but it's well seen out by Waldemar Anton, and that gets a high five from Gregor Kobel. His first real foray forward from the Freiburg captain, Christian Günther. 425 appearances for the club. A modern-day legend of the game, as Kobel's short goal kick almost was intercepted there by Matanovic. Bensebaini has it on this near side. Inacio tries to use his body. He goes down under a challenge from Kübler. It's going to be a free kick on the near side. We're into the final minute of the first half. We'll wait to see how much added time there will be. I can't imagine there's too much. You see a replay of Inacio getting nudged in the back by Lukas Kübler. Back it goes to Schlotterbeck. And now here with Gregor Kobel inside his penalty area. Strides out in towards the D before chipping it long up towards Girassi. Try to bring it down. Instead, Bayer will bring it down. Handball is appealed for by Maxi Bayer, and here's a free kick. Right there was Robin Braun to award that free kick, and yes, it was a pretty clear handball by Derry Scherhand. 2 added minutes will be played at the end of this first 45. A first 45 that has been absolutely dominated by Borussia Dortmund. They have been unrelenting with their attacking play so far in this game. Atobolo just rearranging his wall. Maxi Bayer has assumed responsibility of this free kick. Now, I've not seen Maximilian Bayer take many set pieces. It's a left of the D as you look at it towards the south stand, the famous yellow wall here in Dortmund. It's around about 20, 22 yards away from goal. And there is a 5-man Freiburg wall. Maybe they take a man away from it. Robin Braun just marked his 10 yards. He's put down 2 sets of lines here. Bit of confusion as to where the lines are supposed to be. Freiburg's line is the 10-yard line. Dortmund have a line just in front of the 4-man Freiburg wall. Bayer steps up into it. His shot is deflected off of the wall. Still bouncing around inside the penalty area, and Höhler can only put it out of play for a throw-in. I think couldn't quite see where that ended up. The effort from Bayer went into the back of Scherhand, who was in the wall. It was a corner which was taken short and clipped in towards the back post by Riasson, but there is Atobolo to claim hold of that one. As Matanovic went down inside the penalty area, Atobolo rolls it out. Kübler plays it back to Okbus. And he's under pressure from Girassi, played short to Kübler. Just keeping it alive enough to send the ball down the line, and maybe one last attack here for Scherhand. And he gets away from Inacio, but coming across was Waldemar Anton, and he pokes it away from Scherhand as the ball is chipped forward. That is the half-time whistle, and this first half has been utterly dominant from Borussia Dortmund. It started in the 8th minute with the Maximilian Bayer goal after the long ball from Bensebaini. Then a chip ball from Brandt into Zero Girassi, who stabbed home the second on the 14th minute. And then Rami Bensebaini headed home from a Julian Rierson corner in the 31st minute to give us a half-time score at the Signal Iduna Park of Borussia Dortmund 3, Freiburg 0. Oh, welcome back to the Signal Iduna Park in Dortmund, home of Borussia Dortmund. And what a fortress it is for their 1000th Bundesliga home game. Half-time score between Dortmund and Freiburg is 3-0 to the home side, and they have been utterly dominant in the first 45 minutes. Goals from Maximilian Bayer, Serhou Guirassy and Rami Bensebaini have been the difference so far against the Freiburg side, who've not generated anything really going forward, apart from capitalising on a couple of chances from Dortmund mistakes. But as of yet, they've really not tested Gregor Kobel. The only save he's had to make was down low to his left-hand side after a glancing header at the near post from Nicolas Höfler forced him to make that save. Both sets of players are now making their way back out onto the pitch here in Dortmund. Niko Kovac, one of the final people to emerge from the tunnel. And both sets of players go straight out onto the pitch. No changes for either side from what I can see. Samuel Inácio keeps hold of that place in the starting lineup. Made him a good impression of himself in the first 45. Fashioned a couple of chances, but didn't really test the goalkeeper too much. But he has looked very creative. Julian Schuster is the very last man to come out of the tunnel. The Freiburg manager not looking to go to the bench yet. It might well be a case that he won't be looking to make some subs until a little bit later, because of course the eyes are on the Europa League semi-final away in Braga on Thursday night. Robin Brown just making sure there are 11 players against 11 players here. Ready for the start of the second half. It will be Freiburg that'll kick us off, kicking from right to left, aiming towards the Südtribüne, the south stand in front of the yellow wall, where the Dortmund active fan scene is. 25,000 fans packed into the yellow wall, and they are behind Gregor Kobel's goal as we are back underway for the start of the second half. Long ball from Atubolo, thumped clear by the central centre-back Nico Schlotterbeck, and this will bounce back towards Noah Atubolo. Well, Lienhardt will take over before that, and Obus will play it out towards the far side. My name is Jesvin Neliseri, delighted to continue the second half here at the Signal Iduna Park. Out on the far side, kept in play nicely by Scherhand, and infield it comes from Höhler, but the pass is a little bit behind Matanovic, and it's cleared away by Brandt. It's poked out wide though by Höfler, and a bit of miscommunication between Höhler and Scherhand means they lose the ball, but the ball is going to be given back to them after a misplaced pass from Zabitzer. Near side then, here is Vincenzo Grifo right on the halfway line, near side touchline. Eggestein will take over and drive towards the touchline. The last touch came off of the Freiburg man. It's going to be a throw-in for Dortmund right under the nose of Niko Kovac. And throw it back in towards Anton, and he plays it back to Kobel inside his 6-yard area. And he'll spread the play out towards the far side of the pitch. Long ball pumped forward by Bensebaini in the direction of Bayer. It bounces back towards Joe Bellingham, and now back at the feet again of Gregor Kobel. As I mentioned, Dortmund haven't lost back-to-back home games since February of 2022. They look very unlikely to do so today, and they're driving forward here at the start of the second half. Out on the far side with Bayer. Back infield it goes to Bellingham, and now back out on the halfway line with Zabitzer and Anton. And on this near side, Ryerson gets it back from Zabitzer. Freiburg, it's not been a great season away from home in the league for them. They've only won 4 games on the road all season in the Bundesliga. Bayer's done exceptionally well to keep that in play for the moment, but he's outrun the ball, and he'll go out to play for a goal kick instead of a throw-in out there on the far side. I'll continue with that. Freiburg have only won 4 games away from home in the Bundesliga this season. But if you tally up their away form in all competitions outside of the Bundesliga, so DFB Pokal and Europa League included, they've won more games in cup competitions on the road than they have in the league, having won 5 times in Europe and in the DFB Pokal. Compared to their Bundesliga form of 4. They still have earned 15 points away from home, which puts them 9th in the table. But against a side who's 2nd in the league in terms of home form, it's not looking good if you are of a Freiburg persuasion. And from 3-0 down at half-time, it looks even more unlikely. Ball is at the feet of Benzabaini just outside the centre circle. He goes back to Kobel, who's outside of his penalty area. Near side of the penalty area, just shaping up to chip it forward towards Girassi, who heads it back towards his own goal. Picked up now by Anton, and he'll drive with it towards the halfway line. Good tackle there from Höfler to win the ball back, and Grifo will take control. Haven't seen much of Vincenzo Grifo apart from a couple of set pieces for Freiburg today. Lienhard will play it all the way back now to Atobolu. And over now to Bruno Okbus, who plays it out towards the far side touchline. Kübler gets it to Eggestein, and back it goes from Kübler to Okbus. And again it goes right back through to Atobolu. Near side now with Grifo. Lienhard had made the run with the ball forward. Instead, it goes over across the pitch now to Okbus, and space is out there on the far side here for Scherhat, who plays it a little bit behind Höhler. And the forward loses out and commits a foul in the process, fouling Waldemar Anton inside the centre circle. Free kick for Dortmund, and Anton is clutching the lower part of his left leg here. Yeah, and you can see why it was actually Scherhat that committed the foul, stepping on the toes of Waldemar Anton, but he's okay now, with the free kick taken quickly and short back towards Schlotterbeck, who drives it forward to Girassi, and he brings it to Sabitzer on this near side, down the line for Riasson, entering towards the bottom of the penalty area, crosses one into the penalty area. He comes here to Brandt, who has to go towards the near post, but he gets the effort wrong and drags it wide. First 5 minutes of the second half, Dortmund have the first opportunity. The ball in from Riasson was a stooping clearance from Bruno Okbus, but the shot from Brandt wasn't the best there, and he puts his effort wide of the post. It's a long ball from Atubolu towards this near side. Matanovic takes it down. He wins a throw-in off of Waldemar Anton, and it's going to be left here for Günther to take on this near side. The man wearing the captain's armband for Freiburg, and Günther's even going to leave this one for Philipp Lienhard. So a chance for another throw? No, I thought he was going to take a long throw, and instead he's taking it quickly towards Okbus. Lienhard turns it round the corner again. It's a good run here from Günther. Low ball into the penalty area. Only half clear from Dortmund before Anton puts the bow on the clearance. Kübler has to get back and poke it all the way back to Atobolu, who took it down very nicely just outside of his penalty area. Down the line now from Grifo, turns away nicely from Riasson. It's flicked round the corner looking for the run of Günther, but it's slightly overhit, and Anton will see to that and get the ball back towards his goalkeeper, Gregor Kobel. Julian Schuster's side got a 1-1 draw in the reverse fixture earlier this season. But it's going to take a miracle now to repeat something like that. It took an 86th minute equaliser from Lukas Höhler that day to get Freiburg on level terms. And that was the only time in the last 8 Bundesliga games that Freiburg didn't lose. They've been on a winless run for almost 4 years. The last victory came for them in the 21-22 season. That was back at home. 5 wins ever against Borussia Dortmund in all competitions. And a certain Nico Schlotterbeck, who's captaining Dortmund today, was in that side that beat Dortmund in 21-22. Or SCF. Long ball forward from the aforementioned Schlotterbeck into the path of Bayer, who took it down inside the penalty area, up against Scherhand, but it's good defensive work by Derry Scherhand. And the clearance is made by Bruno Ogbus. Another one of those long balls in behind for Maxi Bayer to come in off the left flank. He took it down well enough, but then Scherhand put his body in the way to make sure no further progress was made by the young German. Back at the feet now of Waldemar Anton, who strides towards the centre circle. Has to go all the way back now to Korbel. And the Swiss goalkeeper just creeping a little bit closer and closer, but ball playing to the feet of Bellingham. First time ball out wide here to Anton. He drills it into the centre circle. Girassi plays it to Sabitzer, but that's a loose ball from the Austrian. And here come Freiburg. Höfler in the middle of the park, turning away from danger. Out it goes to Kübler, who will drive past Girassi out on the far side. Out wide to Scherhand on the touchline now. Up against Bayer. Driving infield is Scherhand. Still on, keeping hold of the ball, and down goes Scherhand. It's going to be a free kick here for Freiburg. Bayer got a little bit too eager there. It's a good position this for the Breisgau Brasilianer. Maxi Bayer just dangling a leg there, catching Derry Scherhand. It's going to be a free kick from the far side of the pitch. A chance for Freiburg to load the box here. Grifo and it looks like Günther are the set piece takers here. Right foot of Grifo, left foot of Günther. Dortmund have formed the line a yard away from the edge of the penalty area. It's going to be left here for Grifo to take it, and he is going to dink one in towards the middle of the penalty area, and it's nodded into the bottom corner by Lukas Kübler. Away back into the game for Julian Schuster's men. And it's Lukas Kübler. You don't often see him getting on the score sheet, but he glances home at the near post, or in the middle of the penalty area. We're having a look here at whether or not this was offside, and from the initial freeze frame, it's going to be a very, very tight call for the video assistant referee. Søren Storks is the man in the Kölner Keller. He got away from his marker brilliantly there, Kübler, and it's glancing at it. It's actually gone in off of his face more than his head, which is why he looks a little bit dazed. And Robin Braun is just waiting for confirmation here. This might take a while for a decision to come here. And now he's going to make the signal. He's just announcing to the crowd that, having heard from the Kölner Keller, there was an offside in the build-up. Lukas Kübler was ever so slightly offside, so the goal is chalked off, unfortunately for him. His last goal in the Bundesliga came against Mainz nearly 150 days ago. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer to add to that tally, and Dortmund now with the wind in their sails. Girassi used his body well there, turns the ball away from danger, spreads the play out toward the far side. Benzebaini's in space here. He could take the shot on, instead plays it out to Bayer, who gets the ball in and is stabbed away by Kübler, and he is furious with some decision here. I think they wanted an offside flag up against Girassi earlier in the build-up. It is going to be a corner kick out on the far side for Borussia Dortmund. Freiburg fans are making their opinions heard on the refereeing decisions, but it is a corner for Dortmund. Riesen's gone out there to the far side to take this one against a packed out 6-yard area. 3 players on the edge of the D from a Dortmund point of view. In it goes, it's deep from Rieson onto the head of Benzebaini, and it's just glanced wide. It was a same corner again from Rieson, in swinger onto Benzebaini at the back post, but the Algerian nodded it down into the ground rather than towards goal. And it's just wide. We've just got a replay of the offside decision with a semi-automated system. The left knee of Joe Bellingham was the last line of defence, and then the left leg outstretched from Kubler was the position where the offside flag was drawn. It's very unfortunate for Lukas Kubler. There wasn't anything he could do about it, but the lines have been drawn and the goal has been chalked off. We carry on towards the hour mark, where it still remains Dortmund 3, Freiburg 0. Throw-in over on the far side for the visitors, goes back towards their own goal. Ogbus, under pressure from Inacio, has to get it out to the far side again. Kubler gets it to the feet of Höhler, stepping away from danger here, and Schlotterbeck is forced to throw in out there on the far side, and he's taking it quickly by himself. Brandt takes it under control. Out it goes to Bayer. Bellingham feeds it back over the halfway line into the Dortmund half now here with Waldemar Anton, and he brings it towards the near side. Kobel, acting as like a right centre-back almost, comes to pick up the ball. Loose ball there though from Anton, and a sliding challenge was really good actually from Julian Brandt, and Dortmund are coming forward. Inacio driving infield with the ball, brings it to the near side. Riasson has Girassi out wide. Here is Girassi, plays the ball infield now to Zabitzer, and Anton, wherever he goes to Bellingham. He drives with the ball, Bellingham plays it forward, and Bayer will feed it into the middle for Inacio, and that's a superb save from Atobolu. Point blank range to deny the youngster, and Freiburg have to thank Atobolu for making sure this is not an embarrassment. Long ball is pumped forward and chested down by Matanovic, but Dortmund are there on the second ball. What a chance that was for Inacio. Lovely ball from Bayer to find him, and the shot was straight at Atobolu. He's going to get another opportunity here on the byline. He's dragged it back towards goal, but it's straight into the path of Atobolu. In fact, the ball went out of play actually for a goal kick, whilst Inacio was trying to keep the ball in play, but the ball across from Bayer was perfect. Inacio stormed into the penalty area, and his shot, if he aimed towards the far corner, he had about 70% of the goal free there. He picked the only part of the goal where Atobolu was standing still, and it goes straight into his midriff. And the German goalkeeper makes a fine save to keep the scoreline down to just 3-0 from a Freiburg point of view. Flick on from Girassi, sends Brandt on his way on the near side here, driving towards the penalty area, pulls it back to the edge of the D for Girassi, but I don't think he was expecting that one. It's bounced off of his shin into the path of Atobolu in the Freiburg goal. He looks disappointed with himself there, Zero Girassi. I'm sure he'll see the funny side of that later though. Here is Günther on the near side for Freiburg, playing it down the line, chipped away by Anton, straight out of play for a throw-in on the near side, which Lienhardt will take quickly back towards his own goalkeeper. Over an hour gone now at the Signal Iduna Park. Lienhardt plays it to the feet of Grifo, gets it back from the Italian. And Lienhardt gives it back to Grifo again. Play the ball infield, Eggestein turns it back towards Lienhardt. And now here is Eggestein again. Lienhardt again. Freiburg just can't seem to get anything going forward here. Grifo has to come very deep to pick up the ball. Höhler is dispossessed high up the pitch by Anton, and Bellingham takes it away from Höfler, but it's a little bit too much on that one. But there's Benzabaini stepping in with a lovely roulette to get away from Höhler, but he's been caught by the Freiburg number 9, and that's going to be another free kick. Lukas Höhler was actually complaining that he was trotted on by Benzabaini. It didn't look like that from the original replay, but Robin Braun saw it the other way. Back it goes to Schlotterbeck, who feeds it into the path of Brandt. Flicks it round the corner nicely. Zabitzer on to Riasson on this near side. Back it goes again to Marcel Sabitzer. And inside the centre circle now here with Nico Schlotterbeck. Out towards the far side of the pitch. Drilled forward by Benzabaini. Touch lets Girassi down and Freiburg could come away with it. They've played themselves into trouble. Brandt has won it back. High up the pitch. Gets it to Girassi inside the D. Girassi shapes the shoot. The shot is charged down. And Freiburg can't get the ball away from their penalty area. Riasson has it again now on this near side. About 30 yards from goal. Sabitzer backtracks with the ball back towards the centre circle. Over to the far side with Benzabaini now. Gets a 1-2 from Inacio out on the far side touchline. Heavy touch though from the Algerian. Gives the ball back to Eggestein, but good defensive work there from Samuele Inacio. And Nico Schlotterbeck, whilst receiving the ball, was applauding the youngster for his defensive determination there. Ball in the middle of the park with Job Bellingham. On the halfway line with the England under-21 captain. Back out to Schlotterbeck, who drills it forward to Girassi. Sabitzer looking to slide it through to Brand, but Ogbus read that one early. Cuts it out. And Günther turns it back towards Lienhardt. And under pressure from Girassi, Atubolu shifts it onto his right foot. Gets it to Höfler. And now Grifo in a very central position. Picks up the ball and drives with it. Gets away from Bellingham, but the outstretched leg of the Englishman is going to draw the first yellow card of the game. Job Bellingham enters the book. That's the first time that Robin Braun has brandished the yellow card today. That is a second yellow of the season for the former Sunderland and Birmingham man. Free kick here for Freiburg. Ogbus plays it out wide towards the far side of the pitch. The target there was Höhler from Eggestein. It bounces off of Bellingham out of play for a throw-in. Going to see a double change soon for Freiburg, and both of the ex-Dortmund players are going to be coming on, making their return to the Signal Iduna Park. Niklas Beste and Maximilian Philipp will be coming on shortly. Long throw in to be taken by Lienhardt. It's flicked on at the near post, and a shot comes in from Höhler, and he gets it the wrong side of the post. Everyone was standing still there as the ball made its way through to Lukas Höhler, and he sort of like stabs at it to poke it towards goal. It just goes the wrong side of the post. Fortunately for Dortmund, they keep their clean sheet intact. Ball is fizzed back towards Anton, who chops away very nicely, very stylishly away from Grifo. And his clearance goes long, but it is intercepted by Lienhardt. Picked up though by Benzabaini. Dancing away from Grifo towards this near side. And Riasson, under pressure, has to turn back towards Anton. And Anton's clearance isn't the greatest one, but he gets through to Girassi, and he turns it around the corner to Sabitzer, and all of a sudden the space is opened up. The pass from Brandt is really poor in the direction of Inacio. I think if he went more central there, Sabitzer was steaming down the middle of the pitch, and he would have had a free run at goal. But instead the ball is cleared away, out of play for a throw-in, and now we're going to see the double change for Freiburg. So Niklas Beste and Maximilian Philipp are coming on in place of Vincenzo Grifo and Igor Matanovic. So that's two straight swaps from Julian Schuster. And Niklas Beste, one of the most dangerous players when it comes to a set piece in Germany. He's going to come on now for the final 25 or so minutes of this encounter. Looking to get Freiburg at least on the score sheet would be the main aim today. Sabitzer goes down under a challenge from Höfler. That's going to be a free kick for the home side, and it looks pretty likely that the home side are going to secure Champions League football for next season. Looking ahead to the rest of their games, they've got a big one in terms of the fan rivalry between themselves and Borussia Mönchengladbach. They'll go away to Borussia Park next weekend. And then their final home game of the season is against another one of those strong fan scenes in Germany, in Eintracht Frankfurt, before they finish the season away in Bremen. Freiburg, of course, have got their European semi-final to look forward to. Down goes Scherhant under a challenge from Sabitzer. Free kick for Freiburg, just a couple yards away from the centre circle inside the Dortmund half. Bester wants to take it quickly. He does play it short here to Eggestein on this near side. Bester's continued his run through the middle of the pitch. Scherhand's taken over instead. Still on this near side, driving towards the byline, but Ryerson used his body well there, and he's earned a goal kick out of that one. Scherhand just asking the question of the referee of whether or not there was a foul there, but he saw nothing wrong with the decision. And as I said, Freiburg have got their Europa League semi-final to look forward to. 2 legs against the Portuguese First Division outfit in Braga. The first leg away at the Estadio Municipal in Braga before they play their home game against Wolfsburg. And then that second leg at home under the lights at the Europa Park Stadion. That will be some atmosphere as Freiburg look to go to their first ever European final. Here is Höhler, meanwhile, with Philipp down inside the centre circle. Play continues with the ball out towards the far side. Bester driving at Bayer, and Bester curls one towards goal, but it's straight down the throat of Gregor Kobel. Both Maximilian Philipp and Rami Bensebaini are still down inside the centre circle, and Robin Brown is now calling for the medics to come on, and both of them both have just had their wind taken out of them. They both collided with each other. Bensebaini is clutching at his lower leg more than anything. I think Maximilian Philipp was more having the wind taken out of him. Bensebaini looks in a lot of discomfort here. Looks like the left ankle is being looked at by the physios. The magic sponge I can see is being rubbed on the left ankle of Rami Bensebaini. Max Philipp is back up. He seems to be fine. No sort of issues there. The magic sponge still being used on Bensebaini's ankle. He's asked for the physios to put more pressure on it, but that left foot has been very critical today for that superb ball over the top to find Maximilian Bayer, who opened his body up brilliantly to slot the ball home. And then Girassi stabbed home a second through the legs of Atubolu after a lovely chip ball into the area from Brandt. And then the third goal on the half-hour mark from the aforementioned Bensebaini, thumping a header home from a Julian Ryerson corner kick. Bensebaini's up now, and he is walking very, very gingerly towards the touchline. I wouldn't be surprised if that was his final involvement today. Dortmund have got youth on the bench should they need it, with the likes of Luca Reggiani and Filippo Mane, but instead I see Daniel Svensson, the left wing-back, being stripped and ready to come on. So I imagine we're going to see Svensson come in to play as the left wing-back, as the ball is picked up now by Gregor Kobel. Bensebaini jogs back onto the pitch. He's still limping a little bit. I can see him wincing as he strides back into position. A long drop kick from Kobel into the path of Girassi. It's taken over by Höfler instead by Freiburg. Scherhand has it stolen away, but he gets it back now. Ogbus will play it out towards the far side. And out on the far side touchline now with Niklas Beste. Turn around the corner by Höfler, but there's no one there in a red shirt to pick it up. Bensebaini seems to be walking all right now, although he is just limping a little bit more now after playing the ball back towards Gregor Kobel. The keeper will chip it long down the line. There's no one there in a yellow shirt to pick it up. It goes to his opposition keeper Atubolu, and he plays it short now to Philipp Lienhardt. Near side now with Günther. He'll drive forward with it. Plays it back to Eggestein, and back he goes again to Lienhardt. Long crossfield switch looking for Beste. It's headed up in the air by Nico Schlotterbeck. And Bellingham used his body well to play that ball back to Schlotterbeck, and Ryerson looked to tickle it down the line. It's going to go out of play for a throw-in on the near side, and before that throw-in can be taken, we are going to see the change, and it is going to be Samuele Inacio who's going to be withdrawn. And all of the higher-ups at Dortmund are applauding this young man's performance. He gets an ovation from the entirety of the yellow wall. Not a bad first start in professional football for Samuele Inacio. 73 minutes for him. He's getting a standing ovation, in fact, from all four sides of the Signal Iduna Park. And it will be Daniel Svensson to come on in his place. So that probably pushes Maximilian Bayer further up the pitch. A handshake from Niko Kovac for the young Italian. A job well done for his first 11 debut. And on comes Svensson to immediately receive the ball off of Ryerson. Using his body there, the Norwegian, to keep it away from Sherhan. The ball goes out of play for another throw-in on the near side, and Svensson, as expected, takes up that left wing-back position. Maximilian Bayer joins Girassi up front in a two-striker formation almost for Dortmund. Nodded back by Anton, back towards his own goalkeeper, Gregor Kobel. And Benzabaini, his foot seems to be okay now. Turned around the corner by Svensson. No one there, though, in a yellow shirt to pick it up. Back it goes from Kubler towards Bester. And Philipp tried to play it backwards to Bester again. Kubler steps in. Sliding challenge from Eggestein out to Bester. And he chips it out towards this near side. Lienhardt will run onto this one. Get it away from Brandt. Still driving with the ball here. Lienhardt still driving down this near side. And he gets the throw-in off of Julian Ryerson. And before the throw-in is taken, we're going to see a double change from Freiburg. So I see a wonderful moustache on the man, on the face of Anthony Jung, the 34-year-old veteran centre-half. He's coming on to replace Philipp Lienhardt, and Derry Sherhan is the other substitution. He is being withdrawn for Syriac Ire, the right winger from the Ivory Coast. So a like-for-like change out wide for Julian Schuster. A like-for-like change in the middle of the park. Long throw then from Günther with Lienhardt off the pitch. Headed clear by Bellingham. Out only as far as Ogbus. First touch the ball for Jung. And he gets Irie involved as well. And back it goes into the centre circle here for Bruno Ogbus. Plays it out to the far side. First time ball in from Bester towards Philipp. It's cleared away by Dortmund. Flicked on by Svensson, and Ogbus will pick it up once more and bring it under control. 15 minutes to go here at the Signal Iduna Park. Dortmund are capping off their 1000th home game in the Bundesliga in some style with that 3-0 first half display. Here is Jung driving with it on the near side. Idier trying to get away from Ryerson, but he's lost out there. And Bellingham will take over control, but it's turned around the corner there by Höhler, and all of a sudden Idier has Philipp running ahead of him. Still driving with the ball. Good dribbling this from Idier. Still driving with the ball in towards the penalty area. Near side of the byline. Looks to cut it back, but it's a good challenge from Benzabaini. Idier is down here, still clutching the back of his left leg. And Benzabaini is clutching his left ankle again. That might be his race ran, in fact. Robin Brown has pulled a halt to proceedings, and Syriac Ire is just going over to make sure if Benzabaini is okay. It's the second time now the Algerian has gone down, clutching that left ankle. It was a nice little run there from Ire. Fresh legs up against the Algerian. That touch may have taken it beyond his reach, and he looked to cut it back onto his right foot, but Benzabaini was there, and I think it might have been Irie standing on the leg of Benzabaini. He's still persevering, though, is the Algerian. Irie is also fine, which is good to see, at least from that point of view, but Bensebaini is certainly hobbling out there on the far side of the pitch. Kobel will drop kick this out of his hands, going long towards his near side, thumped away by Jung, headed back towards him by Anton. Rierson brings it under control on this near side. Down goes Christian Günther right under the nose of Julian Schuster, who's having a few words with Julian Rierson. Deep in conversation, the Freiburg head coach and the right back for Dortmund. Long throw in from Anton towards Girassi. That will take a nick off of Jung. Out of play for another throw in further up the pitch. Thrown back in by Rierson. Flick round the corner from Brandt is intercepted. And it's chipped down the line by Günther for Freiburg. Flicked on by Höhler towards Philipp. And the ball back from Bensebaini. Gets through to Kobel. And again, EDA and Bensebaini are coming together a couple times there. I think EDA might have caught Bensebaini on the head. On the back of the head. He's trying to reason with the Algerian there. And the referee's just going to have a word with Cedric EDA. And yeah, it's an unfortunate timing for EDA's arm to go right onto the back of Bensebaini's head. Not really anything he could do about it. There's a couple of times now he's got on the wrong side of Dortmund's number 5. Free kick though for BVB. And Schlotterbeck plays it out to Bensebaini now. Onto the touchline now for Svensson. Coming infield to Girassi. Turns it around the corner for Bayer. Well read by Ogbus. He gets it out to the far side. Best to continue the run there was Ogbus. He goes down under a challenge from Bensebaini, and he is bewildered at the decision of a free kick. He's staring down the assistant over on the far side. I think that's Florian Heft out there on the far side. He flagged for the free kick. Having a look at the replay here, it looks pretty obvious to me that Bensebaini just put his body in the way. It looked like a pretty comfortable free kick decision to be awarded, which Freiburg have taken short here to Höfler. Still out there on the far side. Gets it back to his feet, and Eggestein goes down very easily there. Svensson didn't clear his lines, but Bellingham's there to knock it forward, and it's chested down now by Bayer. Looking to get Brandt involved, but a sliding challenge from Eggestein forces the ball all the way back now to Noah Atabolu. 10 minutes to go at the Signal Iduna Park. It's still 3-0 to the home side. To put a cap on this match day 31 in the Bundesliga. At the feet now of Eggestein. Down the line from Jung. EDA was the target. Bounces off of the head of Zabitzer, out of play for a throw-in on the near side for Freiburg. We're going to see a pair of Dortmund changes coming up soon. Fabio Silva and Kani Chukwuemeka are going to come on. We're going to have the throw-in first, though. The subs weren't quite ready in time. Of course, Fabio Silva and Chukwuemeka started the defeat to Hoffenheim last weekend. They were the ones withdrawn for today's game. Ball forward from Günther. Look to find Besser out there on the far side, but Svensson's there to cover off the danger. Bensebaini plays it to the feet now of Schlotterbeck, who feeds Brandt in the centre of the park. And back out it goes towards the far side. Bensebaini plays it more across towards its near side again. Rierson coming in off the touchline. Back it goes to Anton. And now at the feet again of Nico Schlotterbeck. Well, for Freiburg, of course, after their Europa League semi-finals, it'll be a chance for them to secure European football on their own, should they not win the Europa League themselves. They've got Wolfsburg at home in between the two legs of the semi-final, and then after the semi-finals it's the road trip to Hamburg before finishing out their season at home to Leipzig. Here's Girassi meanwhile driving forward with the ball. He is bundled over by Günther, and the referee's going to award a free kick for Freiburg, I think, for the handball from Guirassy, because he thought it was going to be a free kick. I thought it was a foul there on the Guinean forward. Günther used all of his body to bundle over the forward. And thinking he'd won the free kick, he dragged the ball back with his hand. And the referee awards a free kick for the visitors. We're going to see the double change now, and Guirassy is going to be one of those players withdrawn. And his provider for his goal today, Julian Brandt, is the other man to be taken off. Lovely chip ball into the area from Brandt to find Guirassy. The combination for Dortmund's second goal today. They've both been very good for the Schwarz-Gelben, and it's going to be like-for-like changes from Niko Kovac, Fabio Silva in place of Guirassy up front, and Kani Chukwuemeka in the attacking midfield spot in place of Julian Brandt. Freiburg have also made another change, and it's Ruven Tarnutzer, the 18-year-old central midfielder, coming on for his Freiburg debut, which is a wonderful moment for him. The ball will trickle out of play for a throw-in just on this near side. Yeah, the first appearance for young 18-year-old Ruben Tarnutzer, wearing the unusual number 69 for Freiburg. The Bundesliga regulations state that no player should be wearing a number higher than the number 49 unless in exceptional circumstances. And Ruben Tarnutzer is one of two players on the bench for Freiburg with a number above the number 60. He's now come on for his first ever appearance in Freiburg colours. The other player, incidentally, is Karl Steinmann with the number 65 on the bench. So, 5 minutes to go then in this one. Gregor Kobel standing on the ball inside his D. Plays it to Bellingham, who turns it round the corner for Nico Schlotterbeck, who's just sauntering over to pick up the ball and playing it back towards his goalkeeper. It's been a smooth sailing day for Dortmund. They've not looked out of form, out of sorts, anything like that, which is completely the opposite to what you'd say from their last two games against Leverkusen and Hoffenheim. Admittedly, two much more superior opponents to the one they faced today. But they've turned it up a screw on this anniversary game at the Signal Iduna Park. Chip down the line for Anton. And back it goes from Schlotterbeck to Gregor Kobel. We're going to see another pair of changes for Borussia Dortmund. And we're going to see another youngster come on for his first team debut. Mathis Albert, 16 years old, United States under-19 international. I've seen him come stripped and ready to come on with the number 41. So too Sally Özcan with the number 6, ready to come on as well. But Bayer, meanwhile, is driving forward with the ball. Plays the ball to the edge of the area. Chukwuemeka onto Zabitzer. Out towards the far side. Svensson plays it into Fabio Silva in the penalty area. And he tucks it away for goal number 4. They worked that nicely. And Fabio Silva, within moments of coming off the bench, has bagged the goal. It's his second goal in the Bundesliga since joining in the summer from Wolverhampton Wanderers. And that certainly wraps up a beautiful bow on this vintage Dortmund display. In the 87th minute, it is Dortmund 4, Freiburg 0. Dortmund worked that brilliantly out towards the far side. Svensson with the first time ball in. There were 3 Freiburg players competing for the same ball. They didn't clear their lines, and Silva on the turn, on the swivel, wraps his foot around it and curls it in to the bottom corner to make it 4-0 to the home side. His last goal in the Bundesliga was against RB Leipzig, that 95th minute equaliser to make it 2-2 back in February. And he's really put the finishing touches on this Dortmund display. And we are going to see those final two substitutions. Joe Bellingham is going off for Salih Özcan, and Maximilian Bayer, the man who got the opening goal in the game, is going to be withdrawn for young Mathis Albert, 16 years old, under 19 international for the USA. He's been on the bench in 4 matchday squads for Borussia Dortmund, but in the final 2 minutes or so in this game, he's going to get his first taste of professional football. It's been a good day to be a youngster in this game. Plenty of debuts handed out, first starts, what have you. It's been a day for the youth, in a day that's been dominated by BVB. Here is Waldemar Anton. Plays the ball to the halfway line. Chukwuemeka let that run. And Silva will try to poke it through, looking for Albert. Here is Mathis Albert. Plays it infield. Chukwuemeka let it run again, looking for Silva, who, with the effort, drives one towards goal. He's appealing for something. The referee has awarded a free kick in favour of Freiburg. Young Ruven Tarnutzer went down under a challenge from Silva. And it's not quite obvious to see what happened in that foul. The referee got it checked with the Kölner Keller to confirm that, because it did strike the hand of Tarnutzer when Fabio Silva had a shot at goal. But it is just a free kick. And Atubolu will send it long. 30 seconds of normal time to play. The clearance from Atubolu goes straight out of play for a throw-in on this near side. But Mathis Albert looked pretty good there on that little jinking run towards the goal. Long ball pumped forward from Riasson in the direction of Albert. He's out there on his own in a yellow shirt, and he drags back Niklas Beste. I thought for a second he had snuck in behind there, but it is a free kick. We've got 5 added minutes to play here. I think the majority of that came from Benzebaini's injuries, as well as that VAR check for the Kubler goal, which was disallowed. But there's 5 more minutes of match day 31 in the Bundesliga. As Özcan has won it nicely here. Chukwuemeka on the edge of the area. He'll have a go. It's charged down by Anthony Jung. And it cannons off of the defender out of play for a throw-in. Taken by Riasson back towards Schlotterbeck, and over it goes to Benzebaini. Svensson playing more of an inverted central midfielder role, out towards Albert on the far side. Shift onto his right foot, whips one into the penalty area, but there's no one there in a yellow shirt to tap on the end of that one. Goes out of play harmlessly for a goal kick. Just looking at the work that Maximilian Bayer did in creating the opportunity for the goal. It was a lovely little turn to open up the space for the strike, or set up the opportunity. He's taken a long sip of water. He's deserved that. He has worked tirelessly today. And he's received a standing ovation from Signal Iduna Park. A goal for Maxi Bayer, the opener, of course, in this game. And he's worked his socks off, playing in an unnatural position out there in the left wing-back spot. Ball at the feet of Gregor Kobel into the second and closing in on the third of the 5 added minutes here. The board at Dortmund, I see Lars Ricken and Carsten Kramer. The higher-ups at Dortmund will be enjoying what they've seen out there on the pitch. Schlotterbeck feeds it back towards his goalkeeper Kobel. And Dortmund just taking their time, just easing towards the final whistle in this one. And look back at the other fixture today in the Bundesliga. Stuttgart, who were also in the semi-final, of course, against Freiburg. They drew 1-1 at home to Werder Bremen. Edmedin Demirovic being the fireman there, grabbing the equaliser in the 61st minute after Jens Stay had opened the scoring for the visitors. Anton driving with the ball on the near side as a turn back. And now here Schlotterbeck inside the centre circle. 4th added minute now of the game. Benzabaini chops back into Svensson. Far side now with Albert, level with the 18-yard box. To the feet of Silva. Gets it to Chukwuemeka, but he can't get it back to Fabio Silva. And Niklas Bester is out there. Final touch came off of Albert. Going to be a throw-in for Freiburg. The rest of the matchday 31 numbers for you. On Friday night, of course, Leipzig beat Union Berlin by 3-1. Bayern Munich came from 3-0 down to defeat Mainz 4-3 away from home. Poke ball through here, and all of a sudden Irie is in on goal. Flag stays down for now inside the penalty area. Irie goes for the chip, but Kobel made himself big and preserves the clean sheet. Poor finish really there from Cyriac Irie. Had the entirety of the penalty area at his mercy, and he went for the chip. Kobel closed the angle down quickly and prevented any chance of staining that sheet. Here is Tarnutzer. Now Eggestein. Freiburg just trying to work an angle here. The ball took a nick off of Riasson. He's holding his shoulder. He's just gone down here, Riasson, off the ball. Play continues on here with Höhler. He'll drive one towards goal. Didn't catch it cleanly. And down goes Kobel to retrieve it. Julian Riasson all of a sudden just pulled up with clutching his left shoulder. Timing of the run from Irie was good, but the finish just wasn't great. Kobel's left arm was enough to deter the Ivorian from putting the ball in the back of the net. Zali Özcan plays it out towards this near side, and that is the final whistle. A dominant Dortmund display at the Signal Iduna Park on the anniversary of their 1000th home game in the Bundesliga. They have been absolutely imperious against the Breisgauer. 3 goals in the first half, courtesy of Maxi Bayer, Zerut Girassi and Rami Benzebaini, gave Dortmund the platform they needed to coast home in the second half. Freiburg thought they had a goal back when Lukas Kübler headed into the bottom corner, but it was ruled out by VAR for offside 10 minutes into the second half. But Dortmund kept the pressure on, and in the 87th minute, Fabio Silva put the finishing touches on a dominant Dortmund display. It's finished at the Signal Iduna Park. Borussia Dortmund 4, Freiburg 0.